Okay. I had a buddy ask me about like doing backgrounds uh, recently, and he is on a different app though, so I'm going to basically try and kind of go over background making with brushes that I'm pretty sure are going to be uh, through most apps. So normally I'll start with like a black background. Airbrushing should be in pretty much any art app, any drawing app, and we'll go with let's see. We'll go with a nice kind of a teal. So your biggest thing is going to making sure that you have like I guess a bigger brush, but kind of lower opacities. It's a bigger canvas, so I just gotta wait for my. There we go. There it is. Man, this is kind of freezing. There we go. Sometimes when I start a new canvas on high, it kind of freezes and gets kind of glitchy. So basically we're just adding little bits of color here and there. Then you're going to keep the color and go to charcoals. Because charcoals are pretty much like the speckle brushes. You should also have those. I think 2B is going to be one of the more common ones. Now normally I'll use my like luminescence brushes. I'll use all these, especially Nebula for a background. Really good brushes. But since my buddy's on a different app, I want to make sure I show him stuff that should help him create something in another app. So, and this actually works out perfectly. These speckles are like the perfect size, but you just kind of mess with the size, mess with the opacity to get it to where you want it. That looks good. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of other brushes that are really common for art apps. I know a lot of art apps will have like symbol stuff kind of like this, but it's difficult to know which ones are going to have which. Because normally I'll just use, from the elements one, I'll use like the clouds. That one's really useful. The water's really useful. Ocean really useful. I use all of those for background creation. Let's see here. Guess let's try another. Oh, I know what I can do. We'll go a layer up, and we'll do another airbrush. So we're going to change the size to it. Bring the color up. Too bright. Too bright. It doesn't need to be that obnoxious. then moving it to white. Gonna make the size a little bit bigger again. It's not enough. And this will be the start of some clouds. Then use that soft airbrush with the same color white over the top to kind of blend it. Kind of do a little bit of white on the bottom. Almost kind of like imagine like it's kind of watery. And that's a good way of doing like a very basic star. You just start with an airbrush. You start with that base glow, up the color a little bit, and do a lighter green and then a white. And then you can do that a little bit more. No, not that thick. Yeah, see, there we go. That looks so much better. And then go back to airbrush, not airbrush. You go to charcoals. We'll try this one. We'll see what this one looks like. Interesting. Okay, that's not the speckle I need. So I'm going to use this one here, grain spots, because this, you can see like on the side here, this is very speckly, and that's pretty much going to be in most apps there. I had one in a lot of my other apps, but this is going to help give you some kind of starlight texture. Then again, I'm going to go back to charcoals. I need to give like some texture to these clouds. Need a little bit lower, or smaller, and then stronger. A little bit bigger. There we go. Made them a little bit brighter to convey more depth. Now there's another brush that I don't actually generally use one on this app, but it's kind of like a nice little like smudge brush where it kind of is like airbrushing, but it's not. So I've never really, I used it a bunch in my old app, but I don't have it really on this one. But, oh well. I guess with this too, something you can do is always kind of, oh, that's really small. For instance, if you wanted this to be water, it's like it doesn't have to be a lot. It just, all you need to do is bring the color up to make it look like the ripples. Just do the airbrush kind of over the top. Kind of like it without the airbrush, honestly. I feel like honestly that just need a pencil that goes a little bit bigger. That's better. I do always suggest making sure you research your own app and figuring out all it is capable of, because Procreate is really, really good. I don't even know everything I can do with it, but there are a lot of really good features on it. Where am I looking for? Here it is. So Liquify is one of those things you can do on Procreate. And can kind of start messing with some of these lines, make them look a little bit just kind of blur them up a little bit. Wouldn't be a bad idea to actually do a little bit of airbrush so you can get more ripple look to it, just like right here in this area. Looks a little bit better that way. But either way, this shouldn't be enough. Also look, because I know there's a blur effect, and I think if you did that right there, it would look so much better. Let's see. Oh, I see, I see. So that blurs everything. Quite literally everything on that layer. So let's not do that. That was, I think, motion blur. Oh, same thing. It's gonna do that whole layer. Oh, you little. Oh, this thing is freezing. Okay, if I go. Why can't I take it back to 0? Oh my gosh. Oh, I can set it from layer to pencil. Good to know. Man, that thing was glitchy. What? Okay, that doesn't make sense. I'm on motion blur and using that. So why is it just leaving pencil marks? Fascinating. Okay. Can do little shooting stars. You just gotta give it a line, give it a little bit of a dot, and then an airbrush. Even do that. So there's a lot of fun things you can do. But that pretty much is how you would do a background, and all those brushes should be able to find something similar in pretty much any art app. So hopefully that helps. It's definitely not like my best one because I'm not using all the brushes that I'm comfortable with. But again, know your app, figure it out, figure out what kind of brushes you have. You might even have some that are like pre-done clouds. Because like if you do, you can already I'm gonna show you you can do so much to make it look that much better and that much more professional by just a little bit of clouds. And that, boom, look at that. It's it looks already so much better. So just figure out what you have at your disposal. Because yeah, not all the apps are the same, but again, generally they do have pre-done preset brushes, or there's sometimes even free brushes you can get for certain apps. But yeah, there should be a lot out there to help you, hopefully.